Hi, I'm Robbie Adair. I own a company in Houston, Texas called Media A-Team, and this year is actually going to be our 15th year in business. When we started 15 years ago, we built websites, but we primarily did Flash with action scripting and video. We did a lot of video. We specialized in video. And doing that and building those websites for clients, we realized pretty quickly that as we had more and more clients and more websites, that making changes was going to be very time consuming. So we started looking at content management so that it would either, one, it would be easier for the client to maintain and manage, or it would even make it faster for us when we needed to do the updates for the client. So we looked at several. There were not many actually at the time, you know, PHP Nuke and .NET Nuke, things like that. We found Mambo, and we liked it best of all the ones that we had seen. We started using it, and then shortly thereafter there was the fork. So we said, well, we'll just sit back and watch. We waited for the next version of both Mambo and Joomla to happen, and we thought that the upgrades and the changes with that version of Joomla were far superior. So we moved everyone there, and we started using Joomla, going there forward. And so since the birth of Joomla, we've been using it. We just built client sites and worked with our clients. We did a lot of custom training to train them on how to use Joomla for years. And then I went to a JoomlaDay in Austin, and I think that was my first Joomla event to go to, and I loved it. And so then I started applying to speak at other events, and I've spoken at many events since then. Several of the world conferences and a lot of JoomlaDays, and then I even do a lot of user groups. I'm one of the co-coordinators of the user group in Houston. And then I also, through that network, started meeting people. I started working with Steve Burge doing the Joomla in classroom classes in Houston for him, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed doing even more training because it was in my background. So I enjoyed doing that, and so the presenting and the training, I enjoy, and I feel like I'm giving back to the community by going to these events and educating people on different parts that they might or might not know. And so we also started working with Fabric with Joomla, and I started speaking about Fabric at a lot of events. So a lot of people are like, oh, you're the Fabric girl. And so this summer, actually, we took over managing Fabric, and so I guess I am the Fabric girl at this point. So I enjoy doing workshops and teaching people how to use Fabric so they can build a full application inside of their Joomla websites. So that's where we are now. I'm still planning to go to several more events, and we're actually planning on making our JoomlaDay Houston into something bigger, JoomlaDay Texas, where we share with Austin and San Antonio. So we're excited about that. Fabric is a component that installs into Joomla. It's also open source, and it allows you to create applications. So, like I built a portal for a school with it. A custom directory of vendors for a client. You can do a lot of different types of tracking for equipment, just cards, nursery cards for a hospital. You can do all kinds of things. I mean, if you can imagine it, you could probably do it. So whenever I'm talking to people and introducing someone who doesn't know Joomla, I will tell them, you know, if we look at the top CMSs, open source CMSs out there, they're WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. In my opinion, they all have their place. Every one of them has their place. You know, WordPress, when it started, was really just a blogging. It is now a mini CMS, so it can be a CMS, or, you know, but it is a little, I don't want to use the word simplify because you can enhance it to be whatever you want. But if just out of the box, if we're looking out of the box, it is more simple. Then Joomla is your next step up. You've got ACL built into it, so for access level controls for users and things like that, baked into the core of Joomla. And just the way that the templating works in there is a little more advanced, in my opinion, than the WordPress themes. And then you've got Drupal, which is going to be more of an enterprise level step above Joomla, and then sometimes it's much more difficult for users to work in. And so you only go to that when you really have to do something, like I said, enterprise level, something that needs a lot of customization to it. And you hope that you find someone who knows how to make that user interface as easy as possible for the users. So to me, Joomla was that happy medium that we used for clients, and so that's why I recommend it to people, even if they just have a small business, they're building their website. You know, and they may want to start with WordPress because it's simpler, but if they start with Joomla, then they have a bigger ceiling to grow into. And so it gives them more flexibility in the long run. It may be more of a learning curve up front, but it's, in my opinion, has more longevity and growth room for their business.